Hey everybody, BTO Pro here, and I don't even know if this is going to be remotely watchable, but we'll see. So I am trying to solve a loss of user context issue. Now I drew this picture of the whiteboard, general context. All right, we're in Hacks. Let's say we have let's make a new site. Start there. Okay, new site, new site. Oh, we can get rid of it later. All right, so we made a new site, and right there, major enhancement from version 6 to 7. We're on version 7X currently. This gives you some semblance of like what the heck to do, which may seem obvious, but it is just a page of content. So if you already know what to do, you can just ignore this and you can go and add a new page or whatever. But the fact that the directions as to what to do are the thing that's then editable, you can sort of start to reverse engineer. It gives you some directions of how to work on this. And we're actually working on what this page should be. This is sort of just like something I riffed one day. So here's the next problem to solve. So we've identified. I go, oh, it says I can add pages after I edit this, and I'm going to add a page. We're back to blank again. So we've lost user context. Hopefully they've realized they can do the edit page button. But they may, at this point, never discover that the outline designer is here, that we can import docx files and turn them directly into pages. A lot of other good stuff. So let's try to solve this problem, right? I need to detect when, as this says, we are in edit mode or not in edit mode, rather. The user is logged in, but we're on an empty page. That is the time at which I need to present this new little UI widget that has, like Hacks Pro tips about, hey, you can drag and drop files here. Because it would be awesome if to get started, it suggested ways to get started. If you have some images, it would be pretty killer if you could just take those images, drag and drop, and it goes, I'll just upload these. Stuff like that. Now, we're not going to get through all of that in this little video, but at least hopefully get to some semblance of starting this so you can see a little bit of how this process plays out. So I am going to go delete, close that. Got my terminal open, code editor. Okay. I am going to have to start a local copy of this, right? So that's the problem we're trying to solve. Let's keep that up. And easiest way for me to start your local copy is run hacks. So before this ever gets out anywhere in the wild or even into Hacks CMS, we're running it completely locally. Now, I've got this running locally. I already see a problem. There's no empty pages. This isn't actually wired up to any backend of any kind of page. It's going to do not found. This is not, this is running locally. It's in nothing, right? And and then it's like, hey, there's no page there. So it's doing that part correctly. It's awesome. I can go forward and backward through the history correctly. It's still cool. That was another fix from 6 to 7. But all right, so my first step is going to have to be I go into the demo for that site. And let's take some random page. Like this is not a site we published. This is the content of Hacks, the web.org. But all right, let's go to network and let's take the I have issues. Sure. Because it says the content is not available anyway. Jiffy took it down or something. So that went and requested pages. Welcome. I have issues index.html. Okay. So let's go there. Let's go to pages. What is it? It's welcome, right? Pages. Welcome. I have issues. Welcome, I have issues, index.html. And the thing we're trying to simulate would be to not sneeze on camera, my goodness, would be an empty page. So empty page by what we're doing here, at least, is there's nothing. Whenever a new page is made, it has to have a paragraph, right? Like it just has to. Now, if I remove the paragraph, I'll show we did account for this. So has a paragraph or doesn't, it has to then, when I hit edit, it goes, oh, shoot, you're supposed to be a paragraph there. Because otherwise you're totally lost because you have to go click some button that is like add block and dump in something. So you have literally anything. And so this placeholder tag is actually sort of the way this is going to end up working. in the end. In a weird way, I might actually be able to just put a placeholder tag on the screen. It would be strange, but at least for mock-up purposes, now that I think of it. So you can't view source on a placeholder. The tags can define if you can view source. Let's copy the placeholder. I'll end up using that in whatever this tag is. So we need to be able to detect there's nothing there. We need like a case. All right, and let's make that at least have a paragraph. Okay, so this is our target page now. Now we have to figure out like whose responsibility is it to present this widget. Active tags. This is app hacks. Oh, that's the theme layer. Okay. The theme layer has the page break in it, and there's the contents of that page. It might actually be in the theme layer. Let's look. Well, let's start by looking in Hack CMS Site Builder. I think that's what I have open. Yeah. All right. So Hack CMS Site Builder probably has slots. And there we go. There's a whole bunch of slots. What would happen if we did that? Good. Yeah. Just get rid of the whole UI with one command. Good. Weird way what I was looking for. Okay. So it's probably then in the theme layer because all of our themes are built off of this kind of subclass. And this ties into the state, right? It has access to is logged in. It has access to edit mode. And it seems at times, if I'm ever making these and you're watching and you're like, oh, he's playing dumb. No, like I'm leaving comments and methods of looking at the code for future me. Like I couldn't tell you the last time I edited this. Okay, it's mostly CSS, but it does have statefulness there. It's going to have some render method of some kind. Takes the content of that, injects theme style element. It knows what it has to have a content container. Okay, all right. Will the theme have to implement this directly? I'm not sure. Well, at first, at least, let's go with, it's not really a UI component. This would be part of core, I guess, just because of the way that I lay these out. There's themes. It's not a theme. It's not for development, certainly. It's not a UI component because those are for usage downstream. So I guess it's a microservice. It's not a backend. It's sort of a utility, but let's make a UI directory under there. So like the reason is UI components is these are reusable pieces that you can put in any of the other Hack CMS themes. Like, so if you want the footer, then you can just put in footer. You're going to have one. And then you don't have to worry about developing that. But this is a weird one because it's almost like part of Hacks, but yet it can't be part of Hacks because it's going to reference aspects of both systems. Hacks technically as a tag lives within the ecosystem that's created by Hack CMS. So let's go with Hack CMS. I don't even know what to call this. Like get started. Maybe like get started. Man, but it's like specific to a page. Hack CMS page, the page gets started. Naming is the most difficult thing, so we all know. All right, so that's not going to be an HTML element. Yeah, probably do more like that. Usually lifting code from other code. It is nice when you get like that type of a thing, though, the autocomplete. But I'm not calling it that, right? So it's Hack CMS page get started. Right, so this is the little block that's on a page in Hack CMS. It's like, here's ways to get started with this page. Okay, just has to make enough sense. Like no user is going to end up using this. I am instructor. You got to call super. It's not going to be page. Silly thing. Static get tag. Okay. Actually, I don't really have properties because this is just this is just a visual piece. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna have that. We're gonna have the custom elements. We're gonna put the window on there. Let's assume custom elements dot define get started HTML. Okay, let's go with static get styles. So we have to have that. Then it would help if my E key on the keyboard wasn't sticky. Return. You don't have to return an array, but I always do. Does this have style implications? Oh, it's actually talking about slash utils. Does this have style implications? No, but it does implement first updated. Okay. Yep. Let's pull that in. I don't even think it's used in the thing I stole from whatever. We aren't going to have code sample. We are going to need simple icon. Referencing the actual simple icons library is probably redundant, but whatever. It's going to get pulled in from other places. There's literally no way it doesn't. But let's see. Let's go back to hacks icon set lib. Simple hacks icon set. I think that's that should pull in and make all the hacks icons available. Okay, and I could be wrong, but I think it actually requires simple icon set, and I swear I think simple icons. I could have sworn simple icons required hacks or something. I could have sworn it did. Whatever. Okay, I'm getting way in the weeds. So, okay, we're gonna style. I don't even think we have any properties in that way. I mean, I guess we will at some point because this is going to be stateful as far as what these options are. But all right, so let's do host. Thank you, robot. Yep, that looks great. And then within that, it's going to kind of be like visually offset. There's going to be like a card, which later I'll probably refactor into an actual card. Sure. And then the way this wraps up, no, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be like div class wrapper. There's probably going to be some form of a like shadow to it. So we are going to have something that feels like a card within that. And a card is going to have simple icon. It's going to be simple icon light. The whole thing's going to be clickable as well. So I guess it's sort of like, no. I mean, I'm going to refactor this later one time. I shouldn't focus on it too much. Simple icon light, icon equals. Right, and I had mentioned I was going to throw a placeholder in there. Let's do like div class card. Let's close that div. And that div is going to get placeholder. So we got placeholder in there. All right. Double click, drag it up, replace file, whatever. Put it in there first, although I do need to then include it. Love when you do that. Thank you, robots. Okay, so it is a little sad at times how predictable I am, I guess, as far as the code I'm writing. Okay, so we're going to have that little drop area. That should be that thing. There's going to be one that says video template. So I'm going to need some icon. Let's see what our icons are. Let's get those pulled out. Let's do the structure first. So the first, just do it like edit. Right, and then it's going to have div class equals label edit this page, right? And so part of this is if it's bigger and it's on the page and it's a big square as far as this card, and I'm going to enforce a height and width to these guys. So they're going to be like 200 display inline flex. That goes there. We close this div. There we go. Okay, and then at the bottom below that, there's going to be like div class equals pro-tip. If I recall correctly, and pro tip is going to have simple icon button light, and that is going to have icon equals hacks Merlin. Click the Merlin icon. I love when it does stuff like that. It's so fun. Tool tip or pro tip. It's supposed to say pro tip. Wow. All right. Dot. Pro tip. We'll have to enhance this later, but pro tip. No, it's going to be display lock, and a pro tip is going to have border, and it's going to be like 2 pixels solid black. Background color is going to be sort of that, or just click the whole thing. And this would be a lot of how I end up rapid prototyping is actually building out mostly stub code of what we're using in the end. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean this is how it'll look in production. You know, working on such a small team at the moment, sometimes that's what ends up happening, but it has to at least be working. So at first we got to make it look somewhat reasonably like what it's supposed to be. So there's going to be a wrapper. The original comp calls for like 2 rows of cards. So we're going to have a card there. Really? You didn't know how to complete that div? I'm confused. We're going to have a card there, and that's going to line up with that. What? Again with that. Okay, there we go. So we got the tooltip, pro tip, whatever. Down there, we've got the row. A row is not going to have another row. There's going to be edit page. It's got the hacks icon. The next option next to quote unquote card. Now we're cooking with gas. The next option is going to be template. It's not, but let's just envision that it's actually video. And it's going to say video templates. And then there's going to be at the top of this, there's going to be some kind of like H3 that just says choose a method of getting started now. Quickly. Sure. And it helps it's an H3 because it's going to be H2 is the page title in this case. Okay, so we've got the placeholder. We're not going to have a placeholder for this other one. I'm going to go like that. So now I've got 3 air quotes cards in place. All right, 3 more cards in place. We've got that guy for placeholder. We're going to be editing. We've got one that says video template. What are the other ones? This is assignment template. I'm making up the icon names right now. Oh, wait, I guess I'm messing with the order a little bit here. Yeah, the order as I had it previously expressed. Okay, so there's drag and drop, then there's video template, then this one is supposed to be assignment template. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. So video template, assignment template, then there's edit page, then there's a button that says outline designer, and then there's one that says like tutorials, and that basically means like I need help. Help me decide. And we'll figure out what that does later. So edit this page, and then what did I say? We gotta edit this page, and we've got hacks outline designer. I forget the actual name. These icons, we'll fix that later. Edit site outline, or maybe it's add more pages, something like that. Add a page outline. So I'm messing around in my head with this. Okay. So we've got the Hacksemas getting started elements. Card is going to look like it does. It's going to be rough because I have no idea what this looks like. It's got some shadowing to it right now. There's going to be these things, and you can click on the item in question. Fun thing, we could just put like a click handler on the whole thing and then assess handle who got clicked. at least would simplify this for what I'm doing right now. And so who got clicked? I'm going to have a e console.log e dot target. Okay. And then this is going to be data hyphen action equals video. And so this is a common little micro, I don't know what they call this, convention, I guess, that I've done before when I don't feel like writing a whole ton of click handlers that effectively do the exact same thing. So that'll be edits, and this one will be assignment and video, and this one will be file. Yeah, so file would just be like a file picker. I might not even need one for that one. That one might already be built in. So we've got the pro tip, and Merlin is supposed to say, he's got some little like tip of the day, and it says drag and drop files to get started. There we go. Let's do that one. File to get started. Which makes me think that the word card on this doesn't make a ton of sense. It is actually more of a tile than a card. Here, row, yes, and I've got 3 tiles in the first row. I'm liking this language already. Okay. And then we're going to end up having dot wrapper, which is going to be something like that, actually. That is actually what it's going to do. And that's going to be display flex, which is hilarious. Justify content space between. This is so crazy. So crazy building these things at times. All right, let's not get padding to the overall. Okay. All right, we've got a web component. It's going to, yeah, that's going to probably work and look halfway decent. It's going to be hilarious. So, okay, we've got to get this getting started tag in somewhere. So to start, if we look in the theme, render, is there some type of render method? No, not in the lit theme. Render content container is an object. Query and it. So yeah, we do have some things that are required. Like you can't. Yeah, you have to have the content container. I wonder if there's something for empty. We could figure content. Location. So on location change. All right. So what happens when we do location change? That's a good. That calls to our mythological location change element, which is out in theme wiring. Theme wiring is going to be fired when we have a location change. Okay. And then back in the theme wiring, back in the... This was what, I mean, this was originally developed. We were trying to straddle between having polymer-based themes and lit-based themes, which sounds ridiculous now. I don't even, do we even use this polymer base class thing for other stuff? Let's do a quick search. Who uses that? Example does. Basic does, which we don't use. Minimalist does, which we don't use. User theme does, which has interesting capabilities. Okay, so it's actually just some of the stuff that just never got ported. Okay, that's for my own edification. So it's going to scroll to the target if there's a hash value. So in a weird way, this is being triggered when the location changes. That might be the optimal time to review these settings. So let's say if this dot edit mode, right? So we're not in edit mode, and this dot is logged in, okay? And we have a location, and what was the other criteria? Oh, the other criteria is that the content is empty, but I'm going to have to actually evaluate that. All right, so we're to this point. If we and logged in, no, edit mode and logged in, and have a location, we must see if the content is empty, as far as if we should supply our, oh, that's not the name of it. There we go. Haximus page, get started. Yeah. As far as if we're going to do that. The location hash, scroll into view. on microtask delay. I know I didn't write that code now. I did earlier, and I can see what it does. Okay, so edit mode, logged in, location. I mean, that's not what it's supposed to do, but this will be a good test, I guess. So we're gonna have to do something weird here for this next step as far as rendering. I have issues. Okay, don't I? Don't I know? All right. Content container. Content container has the slot in it and also has the editor. Okay. What is injecting? Come on. What is injecting Haxima site editor? That's the real thing. That's the real thing to look for. It's in the store. Site editor. Does site editor have anything in it? It does. It has hacks in it, which is presently not visible because because hacks is told not to display. And there's the body, which doesn't have any content in it at the moment. Just got it like flashed there real quick. I'm like hacking the DOM here big time to try and find a good place to put that. All right, so Axioma site editor. That's lit. All right, so I can do conditional rendering there. Probablys. Okay, so I wonder, could I do conditional rendering of whatever this tag is, not JWT login? Yeah, let's do that. Let's just put it there for now. It's not going to render it first anyway, but it's interesting. It's just display block. Huh. This is going to be. Just going to do display block for now. And then site editor is right there, so I can go up into that. Okay, so now let's import it to make it show up. Let's go out /UI. Getting somewhere. And that's I could have sworn it would accept the double click. That'd be fun. So already, all right, I'm getting somewhere. Okay, so getting started. I'm gonna DOM hack here a little bit to figure out why that's so far down the page. Because the slot is there. That's where it gets weird. It's like I have to detect that the only thing in that, well, you know what? That's not actually the goal right now. The goal of this was to just lay this out appropriately. So yeah, it's at the top of wherever it is. Margin top is 100 pixels because it would be something like that. And margin, actually it's going to be margin and it's going to be like 100 pixels. So from the top. And then auto, let's actually do like 100 all around. Even better. Yep. All right. And then we'll just make those the default. And this is not obviously, finished state of this because I'm not going to end up doing it that way. But it'll at least get it to the point, where we can start to do this. We can start to perceive this is what we're going for. All right. Because ideally I would be able to take take some image. Yeah, we get something like that. Yes. Now I don't have a back end, quote unquote, here, but even that sort of a thing where I should be able to drop files there. We should be able to accept anything. This should be a generic placeholder. So we can start to get into these sorts of decision trees. Type. It needs to be a type for any. I'm not sure if there is. Type. Document. I guess can I just make it nothing? Let's see. Let's make that nothing. All right, and then it has like a label or something, I think. Wait, does it really save the directions? Oh, it does. It does. Really? I thought it placeholder for text. So, I mean, I might end up just repurposing this one anyway to be something else, but placeholder. Get calc text. Oh, it's text. My bad. There we go. Now it just says upload. And I can say provide file because you're already providing something. Okay, and then there's a little video thing. Video template. All right. So now I can take simple icon light, and we can say this guy would have to be display block, which it didn't do. Simple icon width. Simple icon height is actually going to be like 64 by 64. This label should not be display flex. That should be display block. What is going on there? This is not, I guess, inline flex. It's not. It's inline block, I guess. Huh. Okay. So, well, it says I couldn't spell again. There we go. All right. So tile has to be that. Simple icon light. Nice if I can those two. Whatever. Simple icon light. 64 and simple icon button light. Okay. And what did I say? Tile had to be inline block. Okay. Yeah, it's got padding of 20. Actually, more like padding of 40 to be totally honest. All right. Text align center. And then what? We need simple icon light to be like, come on, margin 0 auto. Width 100%. It's sort of for being an initial throwaway here, Brian. You certainly are putting a lot of effort into this. All right, so we did margin 0. Well, no, I don't like that. Yeah, I want that space. Okay, so icon. Text align center on the tile. Sometimes I'm pretty sure it's listening. 64 by 64. Let's actually make that even higher, like 72, for the purposes of this. All right. Now let's go find our icons. So we have a ton of icons in Hacks. Nope. There we go. Oh, I should say we already had a ton of icons in Hacks, and then we added a lot more recently for a whole bunch of different courses. We have these course ones, some really neat stuff in there. But all right, so I need what? I need like edit. If I could type. I don't know if that's the one we're using, but we'll go with that one. Actually, it should be like edit the page. Yeah, Hacks page edit. That's what I was going for. Hacks page edit. So where it says edit, we actually have Hacks page edit. Okay. And then outline. Miss it. It's funny, we have one called Hacks Lesson. And we have Hacks No Assignment. We don't have assignment because there's something else that does that, I guess. Sitemap. That's probably the thing. But let's see what the icon I end up using. Outline is sitemap. Okay. All right. So add page to outline is going to be Hacks sitemap. And then I can't believe that didn't work with Merlin. I was almost positive that's what it was, but maybe I made it Wizard Hat instead. Can't keep track of everything at all times. This was lesson. And video actually loaded before. All right, let's see. Okay, good. All those icons are there. It's a good start. So then there's more the functional side, since we are still very much in prototypey land. So I click, let's see, that knows what tile I clicked on. What happens if I click on the icon? Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Okay. Okay, so from here, that's where this is going to bubble a message up. And I mean, I have to design it more anyway. But we're going to capture what that option is. We actually do have buttons to do. I mean, like these are design buttons. So I'll implement those instead, or use some variation of the Merlin buttons, because we already, again, we have stuff that activates and sends commands at the right time. Like, this was not to get deep in the weeds of state management, but more so to provide a gateway into how we go about adding some of these things and what to expect next. So expect this to look way more designed than it is right now. But this would be why we have our X platform, which don't show a whole ton. And currently it looks, as I say, I got to refresh. So it says, this is the experimentation platform for Hacks. And if I go all the way to the bottom, there's these little tiny buttons. And these little tiny buttons take us to flavors of the platform. So it has latest content mixed in with tip of the iceberg code. So once I commit this, I'm not going to commit this to master. This is going to, I'm going up to Fire, I guess. So once I commit this to Fire, we should get rebuilds on Fire to explore this idea, because it's part of this is to help us start a conversation. So look for this in Hacks 8. I'm thinking, unless we just keep throwing stuff in 7 and call it awesome, because 7's killing it.